Bueno, gracias a todos por venir.
Thank you for coming. Today, we are going to talk about Fulltec Oil. It's a launch made by Spraytec in the 33rd Congress of APRESID. This is a product that took 2 years to develop, which brings together the best of both worlds, the world of agricultural oils and the best of adjuvants, with the water correction and the characteristics of all the adjuvants that are water-based.
Vamos. ¿Hay algo para cambiar? No.
Is there anything that needs to be changed?
Les voy a contar primero.
So let me tell you, first of all, something about Spraytec. Spraytec is a company that was born in South America more than 30 years ago. And which works in over 44 countries. It is located in the U.S., in Lemoyne, in the state of Iowa. But as I was saying, it has a South American heart because it was founded over 30 years ago in Argentina. And then he went to Argentina, to Brazil, and then to the rest of the world. Nowadays, Spraytec works in large markets such as Brazil, the U.S., the European Union, Russia, the Ukraine, Australia, and all of the Americas. So we are exploring new markets right now. Both Korea, Japan, and China are places where we are checking whether there are opportunities for business. We are currently exploring that, and we suppose that they will join our portfolio of countries shortly. Spraytec has hundreds of agronomists all over the world who take the technology to the farm, to where farmers need it. You can see our actions in different places in the world, always on site at the farms. We always showcase our technology, and we always try to make production better and more efficient as time goes by. This is our Spraytec team all over the world. Currently, as I was saying, Spraytec has 3 production plants in the world. We have a production plant in Iowa, in Urbandale, in the U.S. We have our Rosario plant in the province of Santa Fe. It's a huge source of pride for us, for those that work in the Argentinian branch. And we have a plant in the state of Paraná, in Maringá, in Brazil, which produces the solids that we do not have in Argentina available right now. So lots of progress has been made so that starting December, the 4th plant of Spraytec may be up and running in Perth, in Australia, on the Indian Ocean, in Western Australia. Let me tell you about something that is very valuable for us, which is the relationship that we have with several universities all over the world, because that allows us to accelerate knowledge processes as well as the development of new products. And we consider that this is a big asset. So here you can see interesting linkages. We have technological relationship or technological agreements with universities from across the world. University of Buenos Aires, University of Iowa, universities in Russia, we feel proud. We are proud to say that we cover over 400 million hectares in the world with our products. That is our strength. That is our main value. Across markets, the most demanding ones. Across countries where agriculture is professionally practiced, Spraytec is present. As I was saying at the beginning, we will be introducing an innovation in the current edition of the ABRISID Congress, which will revolutionize agricultural applications. Why? Because so far, applications were made with oils or adjuvants, and we didn't have an alternative. Oils have very special characteristics. They are very good when it comes to making applications, but they also have their downsides, like, for example, the generation of foam and effects on the surface of the leaves. So what we will do right now is to use the very best of Fulltec, which is the adjuvant sold in Argentina, bound to a unique development, which is an EW formulation. EW means that it is a water emulsion from the factory. It comes out like that from the factory. The oils or the silicone-based oils have easy formulations. This means that they are emulsifiable concentrates. Emulsifiable means that they can become emulsions in the tank mix, or in other processes. But the emulsion in the case of this product is already there. It has already been prepared. So the EW formulation is the only formulation in the world that is already an emulsion. And when you take a look at the dilution and the stability in the application tank, we will see that the practical application showcased by Florencia, you will understand what I mean. So to give you a bit of context right here, back in the 80s, when I was a young enthusiast, why the chuckles? Applications were made with mineral oils. You probably remember the smell of those oils. They were paraffin-based. They were from petroleum. They had been extracted from petroleum, as nobody knew much on farming applications. Even gas oil was used. I've seen applications with gas oil. I'm sure that you've seen that as well. So later on in the 90s, vegetable oils barged in. These were soybean oils that were used as an adjuvant for application as well. They were derubberized. In the years 2000s, methylated oils made their way into the market, and the famous oils that you've seen, their denomination is MSO. MSO means methylated seed oil. So these are methylated oils made from oil seeds. So up until that moment, there was no oil that enabled the incorporation of water. In 2012, there was a significant innovation. MSO oils were combined with silicones. As a result, silicone-based methylated agents were created. You probably know them. So these agents improved the properties of methylated oils in and of themselves. What we are introducing today is the birth of Fulltec Oil EW formulation. It is the only such formulation in the market, which enables an emulsion that comes like that from the plant, so that when you need to mix it in the tank, you will see a compatibility level with agrochemicals that it will be superior to that with other products. We've said that around 50% of the market is made by adjuvants and the other 50% is oils. That's the current market, approximately. Fulltec, the adjuvant that is the best marketed in the market, belongs to the adjuvant component. And, well, one of my colleagues will talk about our positioning, but with Fulltec Oil, our intent is to cover part of the market for oils, part part of the market for adjuvants. Fulltec Oil is one of the best products in the world, and if you are going to make oil applications, Fulltec Oil is going to take you to the next level. So I will quickly show you. I know that my time is running out, so I will show you some characteristics. It's 100% compatible with therapeutic agent mixes. It has a higher stability in the tank mixes because of the EW formulation. It performs cation sequestration. This is a novelty. There are no oils in the market that have an action on water. They cannot correct water. So this cation sequestration is going to improve the quality of the application considerably, and it will diminish the loss of AIs. It is also an anti-foam agent. You know the problems that may arise with regard to foams in the tank mixes. Fulltec Oil reduces the generated foam, and it doesn't generate foam itself, so it's a huge benefit. It's an anti-foam agent, and it also has an anti-magnifying glass effect. This is a typical problem that oils have, no matter what types of oils we're talking about, mineral or vegetable oils. This means that when the drop falls on the surface of the leaf and the sun rays go through that drop of oil, the leaf gets burned. So that doesn't happen. So with a Fulltec. So I know that my time has run out, and I will now introduce my colleagues. We will first hear Florencia's presentation. Florencia Fernandez is a chemical technician. I don't know whether you know her. She is the mix girl. That is the way people have come to know her in social media, and she is responsible for these demos in Spraytec. Florencia now has the floor, and then we will move on to our panel. The members are Mariano Luna, Claudio Santana, Guillermo Alonso, and Agustin Bianchini. This is the agronomists' national team. Okay, so you have the floor, Florencia.
Bueno, buenas tardes a todos.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will showcase the chemistry behind Fulltec Oil. What does Fulltec Oil have that makes it so different from other oils that we already know? The first characteristic is its formulation. It is formulated as an EW. This is an emulsion of oil in water. This means that there are small drops of oil that are dispersed in a continuous aqueous water base. And it's a pre-formulated emulsion, which has the beauty of oil and the benefits of water for the addition of conditioners. We know that emulsifiable concentrates are oils with a base of organic solvent. They do not have water in their composition. So what does make Fulltec Oil a unique product? It's very innovative. It has 40% of methylic soybean ester and 60% of technology. The oils that we know nowadays in the market, the one that has the lowest amount of oil has 70% of oil, which means that it can only have 30% of additives. It doesn't have any space for adding technology because it requires emulsifiable agents so as to be able to create the emulsion in the tank. We know that oils are made up of emulsifiable agents which create an emulsion in contact with the water. This is the difference with Fulltec Oil. It's a pre-formulated emulsion. In contact with water, it will just cause dispersion. The rest is technology. Pablo already mentioned this. So it produces cation sequestration. It reduces foam in the tank. Why is it important to have cation sequestration? What is the harshness, the hardness of water? It's the presence of magnesium and calcium. Calcium and magnesium that is going to affect the efficiency of the AIs that we add to the tank. If I do not correct my water is very hard, and I add glyphosate. If I do not add a product that sequesters cations, who's going to sequester the cations? Glyphosate. And the consequence will be that glyphosate will lose its efficiency or its effectiveness. That is why it's so important to have a cation sequestration product. Also, a product that reduces foam in the tank, but doesn't create foam in the tank, and another differential or another edge vis-a-vis other oils. Oils in and of themselves create foam. Fulltec oil does not create foam when in contact with water. It also reduces the foam, or it cuts the foam created by the other agrochemicals. It has a higher breakdown time. This is a mistake on the slide. It's a higher breakdown time. This means that the emulsion lasts longer inside the tank. It remains more stable with time. Right here you can see images of hard water with clethodim. So this hard water affects the AI. And in the second image, you can see water, clethodim, and Fulltec oil. Take a look at the stability that is afforded by Fulltec oil. We can see how foam is reduced and the break-up time. I'm going to share it with you later. It also reduces surface tension. This is a product that works on surface tension. It makes the drop, when in contact with the surface of the leaf, will collide with it and it will penetrate faster. You can take a look at the image of this tension meter, this tension gauge. Water has 72.8 millinewtons per meter worth of surface tension, but with Fulltec oil, the number is 27 millinewtons per meter at an angle of less than 10 degrees. This means that this will be the effect. It will collide against the leaf and it will expand. It is compatible with agrochemicals and it improves the emulsion. The myceliae are going to have the same size. We will see this in the microscope. It also has anti-drift and anti-evaporating effect. It inhibits the magnifying glass effect, and it is penetrating and translocating. This is one of the beauties of oils. Right, so this is my part, and we are going to move on to the demo right now. We'll see whether we can see this live. First thing I would like to show you is the emulsion of Fulltec oil. So take a look at it. This is the product. This is the way you see it. This is a pre-formulated emulsion, and this is the way the oil looks like. Take a look at the difference. The oil will become an emulsion when it becomes, or it takes contact with the water. So it will also depend on the water that is available in my tank. Let us see how the product disperses quickly. I add the product to the water, stir it just a bit, and you can see how dispersion happens uniformly, and there is no time for the breakup. These mixes have been prepared during the morning, and you can see that this has not broken. This is water with Fulltec oil, and this is water with a regular market oil. So this is the breakup time that I referred to. So I will show you cation sequestration. So I have just water, and I have water with Fulltec oil, and I have some reactive strips right here. We'll see. I know they are small, but I will try to show them on screen. These strips measure the hardness of the water, and they also measure the pH. The product works on the hardness. So this square shows the hardness of the water. This is a scale. I will position it right here. So I will be between 250 and 400 ppms worth of hardness. So this sample has 400 ppms. With a Fulltec oil doses, which is 200 centimeters per hectare, we will be sequestering 400 ppms worth of hardness. Right now, I will dip another strip This is water with Fulltec oil, and we will compare it.
Si vamos a la escala, estoy en
The hardness, according to this scale, is... I can't see very well if you can see the strips. Can you see the difference between one blue and the other? One is in 0 and the other one is in 400 parts per million. So this is one of the positive aspects of this product. Let's focus now on the dipping. I'm going to compare the droplets of water with the droplets of Fulltec oil. Have a look at the shape of the drop when it touches the leaf. It's well rounded, does not flatten. And we'll see now what happens when we have the drop of water with water and Fulltec oil. Have a look at the difference between one droplet and the other. When the drop touches the leaf, it immediately breaks up, and this will help the penetration. Can you please put it up to the camera? I don't know where I have to show the sample.
allá.
Ganache that breaks or splits, para mí lo mismo.
This is just water. Let me see if the camera captures the image. This is just water, and this is water with Fulltec oil. It has already broken. Do you see the difference? Yes, it splits. So, would you like to see the break time or the split time? Have a look. This is water with Fulltec oil, and this is water with just oil. Okay. Another of the properties is that it has anti-foam properties. Water with oil generates foam by itself, right? I'll get closer to the camera. And this is water with Fulltec oil. Foam breaks automatically. It does not generate foam, and in addition, it will break the foam with any agrochemical we add to the mix. In these two flasks, you can see a mixture of cletidine with Fulltec oil and cletidine with oil. Have a look at the mixture. It's split in different phases. And lastly, I will try to show you the pixels into the microscope. This is a mixture of water with Fulltec oil. If I move, the microscope lens also shakes. Can you see? Here you see uniform micelles. This is a drop that will go directly to the plant. You see micelles in a uniform way. It's an benzoactive oil that will be dispersed without making the water break, and this will give me a uniform application. And now I will show you the micelles of an oil. Have a look at the distance between one micelle and the other and the size. They are not even. This will interfere the application. This will generate an interference. This is what I can tell you about the product in this mini lab we have put up. We are very pleased with Fulltec Oil, and we think it's a product that is going to go beyond the frontier of agricultural applications. I think my time is up, right? Yes, that's correct. Thank you so much, Florencia, for your presentation. Florencia is a chemical engineer from the UT University. And we now invite Mariano Luna, engineer of Inca, who was part of this development and who worked ever since its inception. Can you share with us, Mariano, what you've seen? Can you tell us the experience with Fulltec Oil? Thank you very much for the invitation, first and foremost. And I'm going to speak about what we saw in the field. But prior to that, what we saw in the lab, when Lucas and Florencia brought the first samples, we started working on the emulsion and the split. Take up the time for emulsifying the product, emulsification of the product. And it's a green. I don't measure hardness with strips. The first thing we look at is how long we could achieve the good dispersion of the product in the tank. And we started improving until we got to the last part. In my case, it was prototype number 3, the final one. And there we achieved something very interesting. As we aggregate in milliseconds the product, how it starts expanding and covering the tank. It's very, very interesting. Another interesting part is which of the products go first, because you are generating an emulsion, and this will prepare for what will come next. Let me tell you also, the next period says, well, it's a product that mixes very well. Now we are going to look for a weed control product, and we tested it in ryegrass. And this is something really interesting. Perhaps we are not looking at the control. You can see this 15 days later, all the treatments. We swept with different doses with 50 cubic meters per hectare, reaching up to 800, because we have to see at the different stages. We also check this with the competition from the market, and beyond what we could see in the slides, there you see the control 15 days later. After 7 days, you could already see the effects. With the minor doses, you started seeing a good effect, but the best performance was at 200 cubic centimeters per hectare. But we could already see this with a smaller dose. And 15 days later, you could see much higher values. Something that you cannot see here is we are speaking of a very high ryegrass that is complicated to eliminate, and you see a real differential. Have a look at the effects of burning 15 days of Fulltec oil. to the left, and the differential effect with the product from the competition. You see a differential burning effect. That the previous ryegrass was no longer consuming water or nutrients. That is the differential advantage that is not with other technologies. This takes longer. It takes longer to reach these effects. Of course, ryegrass will grow later, but that ryegrass was no longer considered a competition for future crops and nutrients. So this is really interesting. At very small doses, we have a differential effect. We saw this in other type of weed, in different types of weeds. You did in Borea, but the main weeds, hairy, fleabane, ryegrass, and pigweed. In these three types of weeds, we saw a really different type of effect. We saw a positive effect. Thank you, Mariano. Wonderful. Thank you. We are going to invite now Claudio Santana. Claudio, can you share with us the position of Fulltec Oil in the market? What is the market segment it's targeted to? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for your presence. There's a couple of slides to support my presentation. There they are. Regarding your question, Pablo, what I want to share with you is that we have a family of coadjuvants that are very competitive in the market. When we started the development of Fulltec Oil, I spoke to Pablo and I said, we are leaders in coadjuvants market. Yes, but Fulltec Oil is something different. It targets to something different. So I wanted to share with you that this is our family of products. This is our palette of products, of formulations. And with Fulltec Max, we provide a very different response. We give multiple solutions in a single product, in a single formula, with Fulltec and Fulltec Max. In fact, if we see this as a timeline, the first product was Fulltec with multiple properties that was pretty disruptive in the market. In only one formula, we have a lot of features. Florencia presented all the different features it provides. And then the Fulltec was further developed into Fulltec Max. And there we got into the oil market. Fulltec Max also provides a series of properties that compete with the properties of oils. For example, the anti-evaporant property is very well defined in Fulltec Max. It has the property of anti-evaporant, one of the most important properties of oils. And the most important feature is the penetrating action. That is to say, it has fast penetrating action, so it allows us to control grasses to accompany difficult weeds. So with these products, we're already competing very well in the coadjuvant market. Then we have Optimix, that is a mixed product to solve effectively the problems of different type of mixes. And Optimix is very effective as a product that has a very important action in this the stabilization of the tank. And talking about the effectiveness of this product, this will give you the possibility of accessing another market, a market that prefers the use of oils. as I can see, that is regarding the other adjuvants of Spraytec, these have a complementary position. That's correct, because the coadjuvant market, as you very well said, is more or less divided in this way. 50% of the market is the premium adjuvants, such as the ones I've just showed, the Fulltec Max, with a water basis. And the most important properties coadjuvants have, such as Fulltec and Fulltec Max, is the possibility of correcting cation sequestration, the anti-foam properties, many properties that oils do not have. But the truth is that it's a market of 40-50% is methylated oils or silicone oils. So we needed a product to be able to supply that market. Why? Because there is a user that says, look, when temperatures start rising in spring, summer, I feel safer with an oil because it protects me against specific weeds. I think it protects me thanks to the anti-evaporating technology. You protect you well with Fulltec Max, but there are users who prefer oils, and it targets that market, a market that we do not have. So it's a product that is going to compete in the oil market, but with additional technology. So to sum up, Claudio, you think that if a farmer prefers oil, now they have the possibility of using oil with the properties of Fulltec. That's precisely so. As I say, we come to here to complement the palette of offers. A product such as this will cover the whole spectrum of coadjuvants with an oil basis and coadjuvants with a water basis. And this is the slogan of Fulltec Oil. It brings up the best of both worlds. Coadjuvants with a water basis and those with an oil basis.
Muchas gracias.
Bueno, gracias.
A water base and an oil base coadjuvant. Claudio is very well known, but Claudio is the commercial manager in the Buenos Aires province. He is the country manager for Bolivia and Uruguay. Thank you, Pablo. And of course, we are available to receive your questions afterwards. I'll leave you now with Guillermo Alonso. I'm sure you know him. He is an agricultural engineer from the University of Buenos Aires. He's responsible for the important accounts of Spraytec. Your point of view can be really interesting. How do you see the agricultural application? How do you see they are assessing the quantity of water they are using? First and foremost, Pablo, I would like to commend the research team of Spraytec. Lucas, Florencia, Leandro, who's here with us too, Aldana, because when you think everything has already been invented, to see this novelty is amazing. Only those who are in Spraytec know the work behind all of these developments. I'm really grateful for this amazing team. I will ask a round of applause to this amazing team we have in Spraytec. Behind this product, what I see is that we are going to have a lot of growth in Argentina, but especially what I see is that we are exporting an added value of intelligence to the rest of the world. It's a local development that will go beyond Argentine borders to Brazil, Spain. They were asking on and on about this product. There are people from Australia too. Yes, of course, I see the Australian people here at the back. So it's a great source of pride to have this local development with this team of young researchers, and they did an amazing job, and I'm very proud of being part of this team. Now I'm going to answer your question. I think that this is a very peculiar year. Argentina has changed, and today our farming sector will demand a lot of engineering. Non-forced errors will be forbidden. It's a year so as not to lose any plans to meet the right standards, to be so as not to lose any urea in applications. It's a year where applications have to be brilliant. We have a higher combination of products, 5, 6, 7 products with different formulations. So we are obliged to make things right because we have a huge investment at stake. And Claudio explained very professionally that we need to improve those applications. And the way to improve that starts off by paying attention to the quality of water. We have improved the quality of water, and we're concerned about this in lately. But we need to continue working in that field. We need further analysis. We have to correct that because these are investments. It's not cost; it's investment, and this is the vehicle that allows us to get it off on the right foot with spraying, because it's very little the money we invest, is very little what requires to improve investment. We need to improve the applications. We need to arrive early at applications, not to lose them. And this panoply of events, of products, will allow us to improve professionally in the applications. We are living a year where does not have room for mistakes. In this key year, we have to be keeping an eye on the ball. And these products, Fulltec Oil is a disruptive product, and it came to change and displace the way we used to working in this application, where the farmer prefers oil. But now we are showing that good products can be used, and the market will endorse this.
Second question for you, Guillermo. Across your customers, these big agriculture companies, are you seeing a focus on this, a focus on seeing the quality of water, checking the quality of water, and taking this factor as a game changer when it comes to this application? Well, the big groups are sort of the engine of decisions, but behind each seeding group there is a technician, and each technician has his or her own recipe. We are in areas that have good water quality, but there are areas where the water quality is not so much because the geographic range is huge in the country. We do work on phytostimulation. And what I would like to say in connection with this is today the big group with Fulltec might work with products such as Cubo or Toxin, where you can take advantage of all the functionalities of Fulltec, but also while improving the functionality of the crop. So with one product, we are improving lots of things. So in one of our rooms, we have farmers that have been able to improve things with phytostimulants. Having a product such as Toxin, which can nurture the plant, phytostimulate it, mitigate the stress, combined with a resin and use Fulltec oil, I think that this is a big asset. The group is mixing this with herbicides, and in the pie chart, part of the future if we have to think about how things will change in the coming years, phytostimulants such as toxin, etc., are going to eat up part of that pie chart because we are already seeing this. They take advantage of this market entry and they protect the plant while mitigating stress. So the group is now experiencing this. Yes, they take advantage of the entry into the plot with a 360 look at what is going on. So they go into the plot to do weed control, and at the same time we can reduce the number or the amount of fungi in the soil inside the plant, and at the same time nourish the plant and stimulate it to protect it from stress. Yes, exactly. In Argentina, the problem that we have is that we do not go into the plots physically, and this opportunity of stepping into the plots, that is to say the entry, used to be defensive in the past, like for weed control or fungi control, but now the goal is to do the offensive rather than the defensive approach. I think this is the secret for the coming years in Argentina, because the number of applications is not going to change so much. We need to continue to manage our very few entries, which will continue to be defensive. But if we can add a little bit of offensive to the defensive component, if we can, like, for example, mitigate stress for the plant, I think that that is going to entail a significant quantum leap for us in the coming years. Thank you, Guillermo. And right now we are going to hear Agustin Bianchini. He's an agronomist from the University of Córdoba. He's our development manager. He's going to talk about his experience with Fulltec Oil. Thank you, Pablo. Good afternoon. I will share a number of experiences that we've had with this product. Mariano shared some of the results. I am going to share a study, a trial that we carried out in the last seasons or campaigns. But I would like to talk about something that Pablo mentioned as well as Florencia, which is not taken into account very often, which is the magnifying glass effect. It is something that we use quite often with the use of oils on leaves, and oftentimes, as we do not have another option, we suppose that it's a damage that needs to be tolerated by the plant. This magnifying glass effect generates necrosis for the plant, and when the plant is very young, that is when it needs the foliar area the most. So that is what we do when we apply oil. We burn the leaf and we create this magnifying glass effect. On the right, we can see that a different product was used. This product does not create that damage. And if you have the choice, of course, I think that everyone would choose the right-hand side picture, because we would be generating damage for the plant. My colleagues showed results of the work that was carried out over the past few months in the evaluation of Fulltec Oil. This is something that we did in the province of Santa Fe. We did that for ryegrass. We also worked with amaranthus. Amaranthus, as you know, is one of the most problematic weeds. And we also worked with coniza. This is the weed that is the most dispersed geographically in Argentina. So we tested different treatments. We used 120 liters of water. So, well, you can see it's 120 to 40, etc. These are the different cubic centimeters. And as you can see, I am highlighting treatment 3. If you take a look at the very last column, the days after application is 45 days after application, and this is what afforded the very best control for the weed. Probably many of you may think that this control is very, very low, but the truth is you need to think that coniza, it tends to have between 25 and 30 centimeters of height. It is quite developed, and in this situation you would recommend a double hit approach. That is to say, we can see the effect of this first blow, this combination between glyphosate and 2,4-D, and then 20 days later then there is a second application which adds a burning product such as paraquat. So what I'm showing is that as the dose is increased above 200 cubic centimeters per every 100 liters of water, we are not significantly improving the control. This data coincides with what Mariano found. Around these 200 cubic centimeters per every 100 liters of water, we are affording the very best control. And on the farm itself, we can see that this happens this way. This is an image from the same trial. We tested different doses. With 200 cubic centimeters, the performance was very good. Pablo talked about Spraytec and its global presence. Well, I think that this gives us a huge advantage compared with other companies, which is having the opportunity to test the products out in different environments and different situations. In this case, Australia. For those that have never been, you should understand that oftentimes we tend to believe that we are facing complicated situations with the climate and the soil, but they are faced with an even tougher situation. Like, for example, applications sometimes need to be made at 40 degrees Celsius, relative humidities that are very, very low, and it is quite rarely that you can enter into the plot for control. This is a test or a trial carried out in Australia. Delta is one of the strategic allies of Spraytec in Australia. This company, apart from selling products, performs R&D, and we had the opportunity of getting them to assess our product. On the left, you can see an image of the plots. The plots in blue were the controls, and then you can see all the treatments with a weeding gradient based on the control efficiency. On the right-hand side, you can see control. It is not controlled. It is the use of an adjuvant herbicide. And on the right, you can see the effect of Fulltec oil. Clearly, there is better performance, not just at 7 days, but also at 14 and 28 days after application. The weed to be controlled coincides with Mariano's work. In this case, it was ryegrass, a highly problematic weed, which is showing resistance to glyphosate, as in Argentina. In this trial, the people from Delta had the opportunity of trying out other products. The herbicides that were evaluated were crucial, with a large amount of glyphosate, 60%, Terrador with diafenacyl, and in the picture in the middle, you can see the effect of Fulltec oil versus on the right-hand side, where an adjuvant was not applied. So clearly, this is a big difference, and this, as Mariano said in his presentation, this may imply a significant difference when it comes to controlling the field. As well, remember that Australia lacks water. They work with a schedule or with just 450 millimeters as tops. So saving water means that the water will be stored in the soil. It will be available for the crops. So saving water is paramount for Australian farmers. And well, this the use of Fulltec oil in combination with glyphosate allowed attaining over 95% of control as compared with the control plot, which amounted to 85%. And another conclusion, which we believe is quite important, apart from the good performance of Fulltec oil, clearly we need to make a decision for the use of products that will go hand in hand with herbicides. And this product is a very good decision because of its advantages, which we just saw. We also worked with demo trials. On the left, you can see a treatment. We are working with some of the brassica that are problematic, and on the right-hand side, the addition of Fulltec oil and the application of a product. Spraytec has a global footprint, as we told you. In the case of the US, we have a factory in Iowa. And apart from having this plant and a branch and operations there, we are able to perform R&D work against the grain of the season, which is something that is done quite frequently by seed companies. So this allows us to jump to get ahead of time, because it allows us to test things in different environments. In the left-hand side picture, there's the grower standard on the left and the Fulltec treatment. When we take a look at the right-hand side picture, we can see that on the left furrow there is damage with the application of the herbicide, or because of the application of the herbicide. This was done with a type of beans. And these experiments are being performed in soybean as well, in contrast with Argentina, where ammonium glufosinate soybean is not so disseminated. In the US, it's a growing thing. Liberty is a glufosinate, ammonium glufosinate. So you can see that there is very good control afforded with Fulltec oil. Same thing for clethodim. This is a herbicide that is used quite a bit in Argentina, which can produce some phytotoxicity for soybean. And to conclude, I wanted to show you some experiments we are carrying out with mesotrione and Fulltec oil with Callisto, which improves weed control for this crop. In the initial stages, it is fundamental for the crop to be weed-free so that it may reach its full yield potential. Thank you. Thank you, Agustin. Okay. So I would like to thank the national team of agronomists that we have with us today, and Florencia, thank you as well. So in summary, what I would like to leave you with is that with the arrival of Fulltec oil, there is a change of paradigm. Do I use an adjuvant? Do I use an oil? This either or disappears, because we have a product that has the best of both worlds. Fulltec oil is here to introduce this change, to offer a product that brings both worlds together, the best of both worlds together. So in this discussion, we attempted to share the characteristics of this novel product that has been launched into the market in this Congress of Apresid. We would like to thank people from Spain, from Australia. We have people from Brazil as well. Thank you for being here. Do we have questions from the audience? If there are no questions, we kindly invite you to join us in the closing of this meeting. Do we have questions?
Acá nos preguntan que creen que bajar.
Do you think that reducing surface tension might create fast evaporation of the droplet on the leaf? Okay, Mariano. If you take just one adjuvant, let us think about let's think of an alcohol, and surface tension is reduced and there is a lot of dispersion, there might be evaporation. But what does Fulltec oil have? It has oil. So the mycelium is created, so there is this film that is created, and this produces a retardation of evaporation time. So this wouldn't happen. I agree. We have another similar question. It's an interesting question. As surface tension is reduced, do you lose product to drift? Yeah, that's interesting. Oil-bearing products or methylated oil-bearing products are products that enable penetration, and they enable sticking and penetration. So when I develop one such product, this product is going to penetrate into the leaf. We should carry out trials to see how long the washout takes. But these are products that are designed so that they are not washed out. So this problem would not exist. So if we have just an alcohol or just a silicone, we should say that we are bathing the leaf. Let's suppose that we are bathing the leaf, but no problem, because everything would stick to the leaf. Actually, Florencia showed this when she showed this area that has so much wax on it, and there was no dripping. That's right. We run tests on complicated leaf surfaces like banana leaves. We have a significant development department in Brazil, and these are highly waxy leaves, and adhesion is just perfect. We do this with Fulltec. So in closing, we are done with the questions. Thank you to all those that were present, and we would like to conclude with a video. Engineer Lucas Gomez, who is responsible for the development of Fulltec Oil. He lives in the US. And is he around? Thank you so much, everyone.
Hola, mi nombre es Lucas Gómez.
My name.
Responsable por las industrias de Spraytec en todo el mundo. Hoy vamos a presentarle un desarrollo que fue hecho en convenio con los departamentos de investigación y desarrollo de Argentina, de Brasil, de Estados Unidos y de Australia, donde observando problemáticas en todos los lugares donde Spraytec está actuando, encontramos que todos los países tienen una problemática en común, que es la resistencia de malezas, de insectos y el uso de nuevos activos para el control de los mismos. Esto nos obliga a nosotros, de cierta forma, a pensar en nuevas tecnologías que ayuden a que esos activos funcionen de la mejor manera, y a raíz de esto nace el Fulltec Oil. Fulltec Oil es un producto que tiene múltiples funciones, de bajas dosis y que es sustentable para el medio ambiente. Fulltec Oil es un producto que reúne lo mejor de los dos mundos de adyuvantes más conocidos del mercado: los concentrados emulsionables a base de aceites vegetales y los líquidos solubles a base de agua. El trabajo nuestro fue generar una emulsión entre esas dos tecnologías, creando un producto que hasta ahora no hemos visto en el mercado, una formulación EW utilizada en coadyuvante, donde utilizamos todas las ventajas que nos dan los aceites, como antivaporante, deriva, penetración, y todas las ventajas que el agua nos da para poder colocar ingredientes activos como secuestrantes, antiespumantes, tensoactivos dentro de una formulación y hacer algo totalmente disruptivo. Es una formulación que tiene 40% de éster metílico de soja. Ya, el producto ya es una emulsión. Esto nos garantiza que cada gota que nosotros apliquemos tenga la misma concentración de activo, generando así una uniformidad en cada aplicación que nosotros hacemos. Y a diferencia por ahí de otros concentrados emulsionables, que no tenemos tiempo de ruptura, digamos, nos da una estabilidad en el caldo, en el tanque, totalmente superior. Pudimos colocar adentro acondicionadores, los cuales nos permiten secuestrar cationes de calcio y magnesio, haciendo que los activos no tengan interferencia con esos cationes. También la incorporación de antiespumantes para evitar las pérdidas de activos generadas por la formación de espuma, y un paquete de tensoactivos que nos garantiza una excelente adherencia y una excelente penetración de los activos. Por eso Fulltec Oil es un producto disruptivo como el resto de la paleta de Spraytec, y seguramente va a hacer la diferencia.
Gracias otra vez, y me quedó la dosis, es 200.
Thank you very much. The previous question asked about the dose, 200 cubic centimeters.